I remember the day we set out. The air was crisp, the sun was shining, and Blackwood Forest looked almost inviting. We laughed, we joked, oblivious to the dread waiting just beyond the tree line. Now, as I stand here, alone, the ancient trees seem to press in on me, their shadows long and grasping. The laughter is long gone, replaced by the rustle of dry leaves, and something else. Something that shouldn't be here. I keep telling myself they're just lost, that they'll walk out any minute. But the silence, this heavy, suffocating silence, tells a different, far darker story. My breath hitches in my throat. I can feel eyes on me, watching from the oppressive darkness between the ancient trunks. And I know, deep down, I know I shouldn't have come back. My heart hammers against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat in this dead quiet. Every instinct screams at me to run, to turn tail and flee back to the relative safety of the road, to civilization. But I can't, I won't, not yet. I came here for answers, for them, for a sliver of understanding in this suffocating void. A foolish hope, I suppose. A desperate, idiotic belief that if I just retraced our steps, I'd find a sign, a clue. Them. I force myself to take a step, then another, deeper into the encroaching gloom. The trees here are older, their branches gnarled like skeletal fingers reaching for the pale sky. The path we took, once clear, is now barely discernible, swallowed by undergrowth. Or is it just my fear blurring the lines? I stop, my breath catching again. Did I hear something? A soft crunch just behind that massive oak. I spin around, eyes darting, straining against the dim light. Nothing, just the endless silent forest. My own shadow, long and distorted, seems to mock me, shifting with the slight sway of my body. Paranoia, I tell myself. It's just paranoia, a byproduct of guilt and isolation. But the feeling persists, a cold prickle on my skin that has nothing with the chill in the air. I reach for the flashlight clipped to my belt, my hand trembling slightly as I switch it on. The beam cuts through the gloom, a feeble defiance against the overwhelming darkness. It illuminates a patch of ground, then sweeps across the base of a particularly ancient tree. And there, half buried in the damp leaves, I see it. A flash of faded blue. My stomach lurches. It's a bandana. Not just any bandana. It's Mark's. The worn, faded blue one he always tied around his wrist, a lucky charm he'd had since childhood. He never took it off. Never. My fingers, numb and clumsy, reach out to retrieve it. The fabric is cold, damp, and smells faintly of earth and something else. Something metallic and sickly sweet. Or am I just imagining that too? My mind is playing tricks on me, feeding on my terror. I clutch the bandana, the rough fabric a stark contrast to the smooth, cold fear coiling in my gut. Mark, what happened to you? To all of you? The silence around me seems to deepen, pressing in, no longer just quiet, but waiting. The rustle of leaves, which I dismissed as wind, now sounds deliberate, like something dragging itself through the undergrowth, just out of sight. A low, guttural sound, barely audible, seems to vibrate through the very ground beneath my feet. It's closer now. Whatever it is, it's closer. The guttural sound becomes a low, wet growl, closer than I could have imagined. My heart leaps into my throat, choking off my breath. The ground beneath me isn't just vibrating anymore, it's thrumming, a deep, resonant pulse that shakes my very bones. The air grows heavy, thick, with a stench I can't quite place. Damp earth, decaying leaves, but underneath it all, something else. Something rotten and alive. My flashlight beam, still clutched in my shaking hand, dances wildly as I try to pinpoint the source. It sweeps across the twisted roots of an ancient oak, then up its gnarled trunk, and for a split second, I see it. Not a creature, not an animal I recognize. It's a mass, a shifting, undulating shadow that seems to be woven from the very darkness of the forest itself. It's formless, yet immense, pushing through the undergrowth with a sickening, slithering sound. The guttural growl rips through the air again, louder this time, a sound of immense, ancient hunger. My legs finally obey, screaming for flight, but I can barely move. My feet feel rooted to the damp earth, paralyzed by a terror so profound it steals the air from my lungs. I stumble backward, tripping over something unseen, my flashlight clattering to the ground, its beam now pointing uselessly at the sky. Darkness swallows me whole, a sudden, suffocating blanket. But the sound doesn't need light. It's all around me now, a wet, scraping noise, like colossal roots being dragged over stone, accompanied by that dreadful primal growl. And then, the smell intensifies, a sickly sweet, metallic tang that makes my stomach churn. It's the same smell I detected on Mark's bandana, only now it's overwhelming, suffocating. A cold, slimy tendril brushes against my cheek. I scream, a raw, ragged sound torn from my throat. I scramble blindly, hands flailing, desperate to get away. But there's nowhere to go. The forest is alive with it. The trees themselves seem to be closing in, their skeletal branches becoming grasping claws. Then, through the oppressive gloom, just a few feet away, I see them. Not Mark, not Sarah, not Alex. Their backpacks, torn and scattered, their camping gear strewn across the forest floor. And woven into the very fabric of the forest, half submerged in the earth, I see fragments of clothing, a boot, a tattered piece of Sarah's bright red jacket. They aren't lost. They're part of this place. They were consumed. And now I'm next. The tendril wraps around my ankle, pulling. The tendril tightens, dragging me further into the damp earth, into the crushing embrace of whatever this thing is. My frantic, scrabbling hands find only slick, cold soil and decaying leaves. The metallic stench is overpowering now, filling my lungs, burning my nostrils. I can feel the forest floor giving way beneath me, becoming soft, yielding, like sinking into an endless, hungry maw. This isn't just a creature, it's the forest itself, awakening, consuming. Mark, Sarah, Alex, they weren't just lost. They became part of this ancient, terrible hunger. Their laughter, their hopes, their very essence, all absorbed. A strange calm begins to settle over me, a chilling acceptance as the darkness presses in, no longer just around me, but through me. I feel a coldness spreading from my ankle, seeping into my bones, erasing the fear, replacing it with a profound, terrifying emptiness. My voice, my screams, they're just echoes now, swallowed by the vast, indifferent silence of Blackwood. Soon, I'll be another whisper in the wind, another rustle in the leaves. So, tell me, have you ever walked into a place that felt too old, too quiet? Have you ever felt eyes on you when no one was there, or caught a scent that made your blood run cold? Did you ever feel the forest watching, waiting? Because sometimes the forest doesn't just watch. Sometimes it takes, and it never lets go.